Everyone. So can you hear my voice, right? All of you. So can you able to hear my voice? Okay. So yesterday we have been working with the Numpy and yesterday some of the functions. Okay, we have seen slicing, reading the values from Numpy array, and yes, array manipulation we are talking. Yeah, you increase the voice. My voice is clear only. Yeah, is it okay? Okay. Yes. So we are talking about array manipulations. In array manipulation, okay, so this give the new shape to the array. If you want to change, yesterday we have seen this array manipulations, and even I said what is a numpy transpose, right? So there is one function called a swap access. Okay, there is one function called a swap access. Okay, there is one function called swap access is there. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? Okay, so don't on the things here. Okay, swap access. Now if we take this is okay. Now this is having the number of rows are only one and one row with three columns. So one row with 3 columns. Now what you're trying to do is you're trying to swap axis. So here 0 means row and 1 means what here column. Here 0 means row and 1 means what column. Swap axis. So here 0 means row and 1 means what column. Okay, 0 means row and 1 means what here column, that is swap axis. Now if you see this is having 1 row and 3 columns. Okay, now when you say swap axis 0 comma 1, so this row is changed to what here columns. Now you can see print B. Now having how many rows here? 3 rows. Okay, 0 rows and 1 column. Yes, you can see 3 rows are there and 1 column. So it is changed. 0 means row and 1 means what here columns. And if you see this, concatenate. Okay, array dot. See, all these nodes are there. So there is a 2-dimensional array. Okay, with 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay, there is a 2-dimensional array with 2 rows and 2 columns. And there is one more 2-dimensional array with 1 row and 2 columns. 1 row and 2 columns, and this is having 2 rows and 2 columns. Now you can see I try to print A, which is having 1, 2, 3, 4. I try to print B, which is having 5, 6. And I try to write here A dot shape. Is nothing but is having 2 rows and 2 columns. And I try to print the B dot shape, which is having how many rows here? 1 row and 2 columns. And what you are trying to do is you are trying to concatenate. So concatenate A comma B. It means what you are trying to do, you are trying to add this row, whatever number of rows are there here, these rows will be, A arrays, A and B, both arrays are concatenated and written into one more array called C. Okay. Now if you see the C array, which is having how many rows here? 3 rows and with the 2 columns. It is having 3 rows with how many columns? 2 columns. Now that is done by using what here? Concatenation. So you can concatenate 2 arrays. You can concatenate 2 arrays. You can concatenate 2 arrays by using concatenate. Now here you have more content, right? Yes, but in these notes, those are not available, but I'll try to send it. So concatenate 2 arrays. Now that is done by using concatenate. Okay. And there is an array where you are saying stacking. Okay, stacking. There are 2 types of stackings are there. One is horizontal stacking and one more is vertical stacking. Okay, there is horizontal stacking and there is what vertical stacking. So here, suppose there is an array with 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a single dimensional array with 1 row and 3 columns. And there is one more single dimensional array with 1 row and 4 columns. Sorry, 1 row and 4 columns. And this is also having 1 row with what? 4 columns. Now there is one function called stack. There is one function called what here? Stack. Now what this stack is doing is, okay, it is trying to add these 2 rows and convert this into which array? 2-dimensional array. Now it is a 2-dimensional array having, okay, 2 rows and how many columns here? 4 columns. With the 2-dimensional array with the 2 rows and how many columns here? 4 columns. 4 columns are there. Now there is a stacking and there is a H stack. H stack is nothing but here horizontal stacking. Now here it is added as a row. Okay, here it is added as a row. This array is added as a row. But if you want to add an array as a columns, right? So then you can go for which one? Horizontal stacking. Horizontal stacking. Now this is added as one column, and this is added as what? Another column. Suppose np dot horizontal stack a comma b. Now if you see a comma b, okay, now you can see, so this is, okay, this is, okay, now when you say a comma b, and when you print c, right? Now the c is having what? Okay, c is having, okay, this is a c, and what c is having here? Okay, so it is trying to add as a columns, right? It is trying to add as a columns. So 1 is added as a column, 2 is one column, 3 is one column. Okay, it is added as a columns. For example, if you see this one, otherwise, this is having total how many, how many, suppose this is a two-dimensional array with how many rows here? 3 rows are there and one column is there. And this is also having 3 rows and what? One column. 3 rows are there and one column is there. But when you're doing horizontal stacking, okay, when you're doing horizontal stacking, okay, so what will happen? It will try to add it as a column. Okay, it will try to add it as what here? Column. It will try to add as a columns. Now you can see this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I printed 1, 2, 3, and there is a 4, 5, 6. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Now that you can call. Now this is A1 having 3 rows and one column, and this is the A2 which is having 3 rows and one column. But when you do horizontal stacking, it will add as a columns. It will add as a columns, right? So that is called as horizontal stacking. Horizontal stacking. Now even there is a split. Okay, there is a function called which one here? Split. Okay, there is a function called split here. So there is one function, and what is the name of that function is split. Okay, there is a function called split. So what you are trying to do is you are trying to split one array into number of subarrays. Okay, what you are trying to do is you are trying to split one array into number of subarrays. So that is done by using split. That you are doing it by using what here? Split. So one array you are trying to divide into a number of subarrays. Okay, so that is done by using which one? Split. That is done by using which one? Split. For example, I created an array with 9 values. For example, I created array with 9 values, and you are trying to split this array into 3 arrays. You can see, so each array is having how many values? 3 values. Each array is having how many values? 3 values. Now this is having 3 values, this is having 3 values, this is having what here? 3 values. Suppose I created another array with how many values here? 10 values. I created another array with how many values? 10 values. But here I want to split into how many arrays? 3 arrays. Okay, but the first array should have three elements. Okay, first array should have 3 elements. See here, 3, 5, 8. Means you are trying to define where you want to split. Now this 3 is one position, 5 is one position, and 8 is what? Another position. Okay, 3 is one position, and 5 is one position, and 8 is what here? Another position. So but array is having how many elements here? 10 elements, right? So 0, 1, 2, okay, and that is 0, 2, 0, 1, 2. 3 is not included here. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, and 5 is stop here again. Now 3, 2, 5, 3, 4. Okay, so that is, and then 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. Then remaining elements are in another array. Remaining elements are in what? Another array. Remaining elements are done in another array. Okay, so it will try to store in another array. Okay, so you can also define, you can also define, you can also define, okay, the stop index. Okay, you can also define, you can also define the stop index. You can also define the stop index. Okay, you can also define the stop index where you want to stop it. Okay, where you want to stop it. That is called a stop index. You can also define the stopper index. So there is a resize is there. There's one more function is there, which is called as resize. Okay, there is one more function is there called resize. Okay, suppose if you see this is an array with how many rows and how many columns? Okay, 2 rows and 2 columns. What is the shape of this array? 2 rows and 2 columns. Now you are trying to resize it by saying A1 2 comma 3 2 comma 3. So actually what is the shape of this here? 2 rows and 2 columns. But I want to change to 2 rows and how many columns? 3 columns. So when you resize, what will happen is it will try to repeat the same elements. It will try to repeat the same elements of the array again. Suppose if you see this 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Actually, array 1 is having 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it is repeated. See 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2 is repeated again. Why? Because when you resize it, you have not defined the values of another dimension. We have not defined the values of that dimension. Because of that, it takes it takes the values which are there in array. So same values are repeated. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, what is the shape of this array? 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay. Then you can able to add, means you can able to what here? Append. If you want to add a row or if you want to add a column, but I said after appending, okay, so it will try to create a new array. Okay, suppose np dot append. Google Classroom. In Google Classroom only, no? Where we'll get the notes in Google Classroom. So there is a append. See, there is a append. np dot append. This will create one new array. Okay, this will create new array. Okay, so it is having total append. So this is an array. See, already this is one array with how many rows are there? One row with 3 columns. This is one array with 1 row and 3 columns. And to this, you are trying to add. Okay, so this is one-dimensional array. This is which array here? One-dimensional array. This is one-dimensional array with 1 row and how many values? 3 values. Now you are trying to add the values of two-dimensional array. You are adding the values of which array? Two-dimensional array. So this is one-dimensional array, and you are adding the values of two-dimensional array by using which one here? Append. See, this is one array, and to this array you are adding the elements of this array. So what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So np dot append. So this is a two-dimensional array. This is two-dimensional array. And to this, you are trying to add, okay, you are trying to add, okay, you are trying to add this rows of this two-dimensional array. So row is nothing but here, access 0. Access 0 indicates row. It means you are adding this as a row. You are adding this as what here? Row. You are adding it as a row. Okay, you are adding, you are adding this as what here? Row. You are adding it as a row here. Okay. So access 0 is nothing but you are adding it as a row. What is a row here? 7, 8, 9. What is a row here? 7, 8, 9. Okay. Right, that is the append here. So append always it will add at the end. You know that append it will add always at the end. Okay, there is one more which is called as what here? Insert. So there is an array created with how many rows here? 3 rows and 2 columns. 3 rows and 2 columns. 3 rows and 2 columns. Now, whenever, see, when you work with any data structure, okay, any data structure you work with it, what you need to know is you need to know the CRUD operations. CRUD operations are nothing but inserting, updating, deleting, and reading. You must know these CRUD operations, which are nothing but inserting, updating, deleting, and how to retrieve the data. Okay, inserting, updating, deleting, and how to retrieve the data. That operations, okay, you call it as what? CRUD operations. Like, so here what we are doing it, inserting. So what you are inserting it, now you need to define inserted 1. Okay, so 1 is what here? Suppose if you take this is an array, right? With how many rows here? 3 rows and 3 columns. Oh, sorry, 2 rows and 3 columns. So 3 rows and 2 columns. Now 3 rows are there and 2 columns are there. Now when you're trying to say np dot insert a1 comma 1 comma 5, what will happen is it will try to convert this two-dimensional array into one-dimensional array. Okay, whenever it is doing insertion operation, in this case, it is trying to convert two-dimensional array into what here? One-dimensional array. It's trying to convert into which array? One-dimensional array. Now, what is 1 here? Index. Okay. So, if you see, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, once it converts into single dimensional array, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you are trying to insert at which place here? First place, which value you are inserting? 5. Now, you can see 1, 5, 1, double 2, and double 3. Okay. Suppose insert a1 comma 3 comma 9. Okay, so already 5 is inserted, right? Okay. So what you are trying to do, you are trying to insert 9 at which place here? Third place. So 1 1, okay, see here. This is 1 1 1 2 3 3 3. So 0 1 2 3. Now at this place, it will try to insert what? 9. But whenever it is trying to do insertion, it will try to convert, okay, that array into which array? Single dimension array. And that is done by using which function? Insert function. That is done using which function? Insert function. And if you want to delete anything from array, you can delete it by using a function called which one? Delete. So there is an array with, so now this is a two-dimensional array with how many rows are there? One, two, three. Three rows are there. And how many columns are there? Four columns are there. Three rows and how many columns? Four columns. Now you are trying to say delete. Okay, A1. Okay, 1 comma 0. 1 comma 0 means what is 0 indicates here? Row. What is 1 indicates here? Column. Okay, 0 indicates row and 1 indicates what here? Column. Okay, and you want to remove. Which row you want to remove? 1. So see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now this is 0, first row, second row, and third row. Now the index of this row is 0, the index of this row is 1, the index of this row is what? 2. You are removing this which row? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 0 indicates what? Access. Okay, you are removing which row here? The row with the index 1. Is it 5, 6, 7, 8 is deleted or not? Yes. Okay, but see, array is immutable. Array is immutable to the inserting, deleting, appending. So it will try to return into the new array. It will not do the changes in what? Existing array. So if I'm saying a1 comma 1 comma 0, so 1 is nothing but row index. 0 is a row you want to delete. 0 is a access. Access 0 is nothing but row. Okay, you want to delete which row? The row with the index 1. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this row is deleted. After deleting, now the array is having two rows with the four columns. Suppose if I'm saying np.delete, I want to delete a column, right? So a1 comma 1, 1 is nothing but a column with the index 1. Column whose index is 1 and 1 index indicates that access 1. Access 1 is nothing but column index. Access 1 is nothing but which index here? Column index. Access 0 is nothing but what? Row index. Access 1 is nothing but what? Column index. Axis 1 indicates what here? Column index. Okay. Axis 1 is a column index. Axis 1 is a column index. Okay. Axis 1 is a column and 1 is an index. So if you take this index, column index of this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Now the column with the index 2, 1 get deleted. 2, 6, 10 is deleted. Now remaining are 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Yes. This is how you are trying to delete it. Okay. So appending, inserting, and deleting. So what we are trying to do is, okay, now there is an array with, now there is a function called truncate. There is a function called which one here? Truncate. There is a function called truncate. Truncate is a function. Okay, what is the name of the function here? Truncate. So truncating. Okay, what you are trying to truncate here? Okay, you are trying to truncate the decimal places. Now truncating, rounding. Okay, two operations are there. Okay, truncating, rounding. Two operations are there. But here, which operation are you doing? Truncation. So here you are doing which operation? Truncation. There are two operations are there. One is rounding and one more is what? Truncating. One is rounding and one more is what? Truncating. Okay. So you are trying to say np.truncate a1 means it will try to truncate decimal places. Actually, this is having minus 1.7, minus 1.5, minus 0.2, 0.2, 1.5, 1.7, 2.0. But what you are trying to do, you are trying to truncate all these decimal places. So this will become minus 1.01, minus 1.0, minus 0.0, 0.0, 1.0, 1.0, and 2.0. So all decimal places are what here? Truncated. So that can be done by using a function called what? Truncate. So there is aggregate functions you have. There is aggregate functions you have, like finding the maximum, array maximum. Now, if I'm trying to say, now, if you take this is an array, right? So this array is having, if you take this is an array, this array is having, okay, if you take this is an array, this array is having 3 rows and this array is having 3 rows and how many columns? 3 columns. It's nothing but 3 by 3, right? Okay, this is nothing but 3 by 3. And I want to find out what is the maximum value in all in complete array. In complete array, I want to know what is the maximum value. In complete array, I want to know what is the maximum value. I'm trying to use a max, array max of a1. So what is the maximum value in this complete array? 9. What is the maximum value in complete array? 9. Okay. Then you're trying to say np dot a max. I want to find the maximum value in the rows. Okay. Okay. What is a row which is having maximum values? A1 come access 0. Now access 0. Now you can see 7, 8, 9. This is a row which is having maximum values, right? Okay, access 0 means row maximum. Finding row maximum. Finding with what? Row maximum. Okay, so this is finding with the row maximum. And this is finding with the column maximum. So there is a row maximum is there. There is a row maximum and there is what? Column maximum. Okay, access 1 is nothing but what here? Column. Finding the maximum in columns, and this is finding the maximum in what? Row. So in column, which one is maximum? 369. Okay, column, which one is the maximum? 369. See here, 369 is a maximum, right? Okay, but it will return as a single dimension array. But it will return as a single dimension array. Okay, now this is finding median. Okay, mean, median, mode. Okay, this is finding which operation you're doing here. You're finding the median. Okay, now this is performing some statistical operations or not. Okay, so this is finding median. This is finding the median. Okay, so just try to understand this. So this is performing some statistical operations. Okay, suppose this is finding the median by taking the complete array. Means what will happen? It will try to convert this array into which array? Single dimensional array. It will convert this array into which array? Single dimension array. it will convert this array into which array? Single dimension array. Okay, single dimensional array because you are finding the median of the complete array. You are finding the median of complete array. Okay, yes, just try to understand. So median means it will define the middle of data set. Okay. So what is the median written here? Some 3.5. Okay, but here A1 comma axis 0 means you are finding median. In this case, you are finding the median. Okay, in this case, you are finding the median of rows. Okay, and this is axis 1 is nothing but what here? Columns. This is rows and this is what here? Columns. Now you can see 6.5, 4.5, 2.5. In the columns, it is 7.0 and 2.0. So this is how you are trying to find what here? Median. Okay. So this median formula might be changes when you go for even data sets and odd data sets. I think you know that. Okay. Okay. Yes. So the formula might be changes when you're moving to even data sets and odd data sets. So that is median. And there is one more, which is called as mean. So that is average. Now that is 3.0. And then axis 0 means rows. Okay, now 2.5. Okay, 2.5, 3.5, and 1.5, and 4.5. Okay, so that is nothing but what? Mean. So there's a mean, and there is what again? Median. So there is a different types of matrix you can create it. Okay, you can create different types of matrix by using matrix library. Matlib is nothing but matrix library. Using this matrix library, you can able to create. Okay, using this matrix library, you can able to create different types of matrices. You can able to create different types of matrices. Okay, so you can create empty matrix. Already we have seen yesterday, like creating empty matrix and creating matrix with zeros, creating identity matrix and creating matrix with ones, creating matrix with I matrix, I matrix with 3 comma k equal to 1 means k is nothing but the columns. Okay, k is nothing but, so 0, 1, this is a k here filled with 1, and this is an identity matrix. Okay, identity matrix. This is called as an identity matrix. Okay, yes. Now these are different types of matrices you can create it by using matrix library. Different types of matrices you can create it by using what? Matrix library. See, matrix library, it will provide so many functions. Matrix library provides so many functions, and these functions you can use it to perform different operations. Okay, right? So I said, no, there are so many operations which you can find in, okay, there are so many operations which you can find in NumPy, right? But what you need to know is the basic operations, and these operations are useful when you're moving to data science. Okay, these operations are useful when you're moving to what? Data science. I mean, without knowing some basic knowledge of this NumPy, because there you will not learn all this functionality. There you learn only the functionality which uh, required in working with what? Data science. But I try to cover some of the functionalities related with what? NumPy. Some of the functionalities related with the NumPy, right? So there is one more important, one more very important data, one more important, most of the data science people, they'll try to use one, one more library called which one? Pandas. They try to use one more library. And what is that library? You call it as is Pandas. I'll share the notes, okay? Don't worry. So there is one more library. And what is that library is? Pandas. Pandas is one of the important library for data science. Say data science, only for data science. Okay, only for data science, this is useful. NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. Okay, all these are. So by using this Pandas, you can do some small case studies like related with. So you can work with exploratory data analysis like EDA. Okay. So first, the data science people start with EDA related things, and then they'll move to performing some complex statistical operations. So what is Pandas is? Pandas stands for panel data. Okay, what is Pandas is? Pandas stands for panel data. What is Pandas is? Is a panel data. Pandas stands for panel data here. Okay. Pandas is an open source library for data analysis, data manipulation, as well as data visualization. You can use a Pandas for doing all this data analysis, data manipulation, and data visualization also. So where you can display the data in the form of graphs. Okay, so that you call it as data visualization. You can say Pandas provide powerful data structures. So Pandas provide powerful data structure. Now, what is the data structure provided by NumPy? Array. Array is a data structure of NumPy. And Pandas also come with some powerful data structures. But with Python also you'll get some number of data structures like list, set, okay, dictionary, tuple. Okay, all these are the data structures which comes with what? Python. But these are the data structures which provided by Pandas. So by using this, you can work with the time series and you can perform all statistical operations. But Pandas work on the top of NumPy and what? Matplotlib. Means internally, Pandas uses which library? NumPy library for organizing data. And for data visualization, it will try to use what? For data visualization, it will try to use what? Matplotlib. For data visualization, it will try to use Matplotlib. For data visualization, it will use Matplotlib. Okay. Okay. Yes. What are the features of pandas here? So pandas can be used for handling huge amount of data. Okay, pandas is used for handling the huge amount of data and finding the missing data. So this is the basic steps. Generally, you do it when you're performing data analysis. Okay, if data is missing, you cannot perform statistical operations. Okay, if some data is missing, you want to find the average of salary. And if some data is missing, then you want to find the mean or mode, okay, of salaries. If the data is missing, then you cannot perform statistical operations. So finding the missing data, cleaning up the data, alignment and indexing, okay, rearranging the data, which is called as alignment and indexing, and merging and joining the data. Sometimes you might take the data from different data sets and you merge it and then perform certain operations. So merging and joining the data, grouping and visualizing the data, time series functionality allows to load data from different files format in input and output tools. Okay. So loading the data from different okay, right? So it allows to load the data from different formats. Okay. So it's about CSV format, it's about JSON format, it's about text format, it's about TIFF format, because in data science, the data might comes in different formats. In data science, the data might be comes in different formats. Okay. So now pandas will support you to load data from different formats from different files, right? So it supports multiple formats. Now, what are the applications of pandas? Where exactly pandas are used, like recommendation systems? Now you find in YouTube recommendations, product recommendations. If you're working with on internet, any web applications, you find recommendation systems. Okay. So based on the past history and stock predictions, okay, stock predictions, big data and data science, NLP, like developing chatbots and other things, natural language processing, and what is that? Statistics and analytics, okay, and neuroscience, okay, all this. I mean, I can say these are related with like machine learning and data science. Uses which one ponder? Suppose if you take even scientific learn or other machine learning libraries, all these libraries are built on the top of which one? Pandas only. All these libraries are built on the top of pandas only. So pandas comes with two data structures. One is called as a series and one more is called as a data frame. Okay, one is called as a series and there is one more which is called as a data frame. So pandas comes with two things, right? So it comes with the two data structures. One is a series. Now series is nothing but one dimensional. Okay, what is series here? Is a one dimensional. Series is one dimensional. See, it is just like a series is one column in MS Excel. This is what data science people understand. If you take MS Excel, right? Suppose the data is in tabular format. So this is how the data science people understand exactly. Suppose if we take Excel, okay, if you take Excel, right, this is MS Excel. So the column represent one series, right? So rows and columns represent what? Data frame. Data frame is set of rows and columns, means where you are trying to load the table data. Where you are trying to load which data? Table data. Okay, you are trying to load which data? Table data. So one column represents a series. For example, so employees data is there. Employee number, employee name, and what is that here? Salary. Employee numbers are there. Employee numbers are there, and these are name of the employees. These are name of the employees. Okay, and this we can call it as which one here? Salaries. So employee number, employee name, employee name, and one more is what? Salary. Suppose if I want to load this one column, right? How I can represent one column? Because I want to perform certain statistical operations on salaries. Then I load this into one series. And if I want to take complete data, then I load this into what here? Data frame. Okay, series and data frame. Okay, two data structures are there. I can say series is one-dimensional array, one-dimensional, and data frame is two-dimensional. Okay, so what is data analysis? So data analysis is a process of collecting the data, transforming the data, cleaning and modeling the data with the goal of discovering required information. So that you can call it as what? Data analysis. That you are saying it as what? Data analysis. Data analysis is a process of collecting, transforming. Data analysis is a process of collecting, transforming, okay, transforming, cleaning and modeling the data with the goal of discovering required information. Data analysis process consists of so many steps, right? Requirement specification, okay, data collection, data processing, data cleaning, data analysis, communication. Communication is nothing but like how you present the data in the form of which one? Charts, in the form of charts, okay, in the form of graphs. So that you can call it as, okay, communication. Okay, yes. So business analyst, data analyst, all these are one and the same. Business analyst and data analyst, all these are one and the same. Now let us see these two data structures, like what is series and one more is what is data frame. So Pandas series one-dimensional array object. This object can hold data of any type. Okay, so Pandas series is one-dimensional array object. This object can hold data of any type. It can be integer, float, strings, or any Python objects. That is what I said. Pandas series represents are equal to a column in database like MS Excel, Oracle, MySQL, and SQL Server. So that is series is one-dimensional array. Okay, one column. What is data frame here? Data frame is two-dimensional array object or data structure. Now data stored, see, data analysis related functionality is not provided by Numpy. Numpy is only for numerical calculations like working with vectors and matrices. Working with only vectors and matrices and working with what is that, linear equations. For that you are trying to use what, numpy. But if you want to work with the data analysis, okay, you must use which one, pandas, because all data analysis related functionality will be there in what, pandas. Even include all statistical operations and everything you can find in what, pandas. So data frame is a two-dimensional array object or data structure. Data frame, in data frame, data is stored in which format? Tabular format, which is having number of rows and columns. The data frame consists of three components. One is data, rows, and one more is what here? Columns. Okay, it is having data, rows, and one more is what here? Columns. It is having data, rows, and columns. So it is divided. It is like this. Okay, if you see this, now if you say this is a data frame, this data frame is having different components here. Data frame, sorry. So the data frame is having different components, like it is having rows. It is having rows here. It is having rows here. It is having rows here. There is a rows. And there is what here? Columns. Okay, there is a rows and there is a columns here. You have a rows and you have a columns, right? So rows is, okay, suppose, so this is columns, roll number, assume that name, and this you can call it as rows, not roll number one, right? So row identity, that is 1, 2, okay, this is 3, and this is what here, 4. So this is a rows and this is a columns, and what you do here, you fill the data here. So what it is having here, data. So data is, row is having an index and column is having an index. There is a row labels and there is also which one, column labels. So this is how organized in data frame. This is how it is organized in data frame. Now to install pandas, other than Jupyter and Google Colab, it is required to install pandas library by saying pip install pandas. But if you are working with Google Colab, it is working on internet or web, right? So you don't require to do that. Okay, you don't require to do that, right? If it is ideally, then you have to say pip install pandas. If you are working with ideally, then you have to say pip install pandas. Okay, right? So Colab already I said it. So first we'll see what is a series is. I said no, series is a single dimensional array like object with homogeneous or heterogeneous data. Now series object can be created in different ways. You can create a series using array. You can create a series using dictionary. You can create a series using scalar values. You can create a series using other iterables. Now series is a name of the class. Series is the name of the class. A series is the name of the data type. Okay, series is the name of the class. Series is the name of the data type which you are using it to construct the series object. So what is the syntax of series here? Okay, series, it followed by data and index and then data type. Series, it followed by the data, okay, index, and it followed by what here? Data type. Index and it followed by data type. So here data, the source using which series object is created. Okay, how you are creating a series object? By using some data. So that data can be called as a source for this series object. The data can be called as a source for this particular series object. Okay, yes. Okay, right. So series. So data type also you can define. So index value must be hashable and must be unique, right? Type of the series is defined using data type. So you can create a series. You can create a series. I just open Google Colab. Okay, you can create a series. Now this is creating the series here, empty series. Okay, okay, this is creating the series here, empty series. Okay, but data type is given as what here? Object type. Okay, yes. So now you can also create a series. You can also create a series by using what here? List. You can also create a series by using a list, but each element in the series is having access label. Okay, these are called as access labels, and generally these access labels are called as indexes. Okay, now the default indexing starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 because the total number of values a series is having 5 values. But the advantage of this pandas is you can have your own access labels rather than using 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also give the customized index. You can also define the customized index at the time of creating what year series. Now pandas.series, I'm creating a series using a list. So that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So define the index like A, B, C, D, E, right? So now I can define my own index. So what is the index I've given? A, B, C, D, E. Now the default indexing is numeric index. Now I can define my own access labels saying A, B, C, D, E. Now first element is, but this is not changing the default index given by, okay, series. We are just giving our own access labels. Okay, we are just giving our own access labels by just writing it as index equal to A, B, C, D, E. Now you are accessing first value, second value, third value with A, or you can also access with the index. That is with 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. You can also access with the index like 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay. Okay. Now, if you want to read the elements from the series, okay, yes, you can create a series in different ways. Okay, you can create a series in different ways. Empty series you can create. Without list, you can create it. But source should be defined. That is empty list, empty series. That is empty series. Okay, you can create empty series, no problem. Okay, I said no, you can create a series in different ways. You can create a series using list. You can create a series using dictionary. You can create a series using any iterable. You can also create empty series. But what is the use of empty series? There is no use, right? Because series means you represent some data, right? So that you can perform certain operations, right? Okay. Okay. Yes. So I said no, you can create a series in different ways. You can create a series using ND array. ND array is nothing but array, right? So here I created array with how many values? Okay, I said for value in range 10 comma 60 comma 10. So that is nothing but so I try to create an array with how many values here? Some 5 values. Okay, 5 values. So it starts at 10, right? So A of 0 is 10, A of 1 is 20, A of 2 is 30, A of 3 is 40, A of 4 is what? 50. So I created array with how many values here? 5 values. I created array with how many values here? 5 values. Okay, then I converted this. I converted this array into what? Series. I loaded this data from array into what here? Series by saying pandas.series. Yeah. Now you can see 10.0, 20.0, 30.0, 40.0, and 50.0. You can also create a series using what here? Dictionary. So we can create a series using dictionary, or we can pass the dictionary object to what here? Series. We can pass the dictionary object to the series. Okay, you can pass the dictionary object to what here? Series. Okay, right? So what you're trying to do is you are trying to create one dictionary. Suppose assume that this is a sales dictionary which is having the year end sales, and year end what is that? Sales. You are creating. Okay, you are creating it using a dictionary, right? You are creating it using what here? Dictionary. Yeah, we'll see how to read it. Okay, don't worry. We'll see how to read it. So there is a sales dictionary is there. I want to create a series using this dictionary. Now what you can do is pandas.series sales dictionary. But once you create a series using this dictionary, what will happen is it will take this keys as a access labels. which are nothing but indexes. It will take the keys as the access labels, and values are the values of that series. So keys are what your access labels, and values are the values of that particular series. Okay. Now suppose EMP dictionary is there. So I convert this dictionary into series. Then it will take the keys as a access labels, and here names are access labels and values are what here salaries is taken as what values. So you can create a series using dictionary. You can also create a series using scalar value. Scalar value means an individual value. Scalar value means what here? An individual value, that you can call it as what? Scalar value. An individual value, that you can call it as which value? Scalar value. Okay. Now you're trying to create a series. I'm saying 15. Okay. So I want to repeat this 15. How many times I want to repeat this 15? 5 times. I want to repeat this 15. How many times here? 5 times. I want to repeat this 15. How many times here? 5 times. Okay. Then I've given the index as 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So what will happen? It will try to repeat this 15. How many times in the series? 5 times. Okay, right? So this is creating a series. Then how can you access the elements of the series? How can you access the data from the series? You can access the data from the series. You can access the data from the series in different ways here. So series is index based collection. Series is index based collection. We can read and manipulate data. So series is index based collection. We can read and manipulate data using what here? Index. And this index starts at what here? 0. This index starts with what here? 0. You are creating a series by saying pandas.series. So this is a list, and this list contains how many values here? 5 values. Now you can read it, S1 of 0, S1 of 1, okay, 2, 3, 4. Now I can give my own access labels like A, B, C, D, E, right? So I can access it by using my own access labels or using a predefined index like A. A is nothing but 1000 and S2 of 0 is also 1000. So because identifying the things using existing and predefined index is somewhat difficult, right? So we'll try to give our own access labels. I want to access first employee, then I'll say employee one, like that. So I try to give my own access labels. I try to give my own access labels, right? Okay, that is A, B, C, D, and one more is what? E. Okay. The next is reading multiple elements. But how you read multiple elements? Series allows reading multiple elements by defining index labels within the list. Okay, you want to read multiple values. You want to read multiple values. If you want to read multiple values, you define multiple indexes. For example, if you take this is a series where 100 comma 1000 comma 100. So it is nothing but you created series with how many values? 10 values. Oh, sorry, 9 values. That is 100. Okay, 200, 300, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, 600, 700, 800, and 900. So from this, I want to read the value at 0 position. I want to read the value at third position. I want to read the value at sixth position. I want to read the value at eighth position. Then I just give an S1 of 0 comma 3 comma 6 comma 8. So how many values it will read? 4 values, but it will return as another series. After reading, it return that into what? Another series. It will return the values into another series. It will return values into another series. Okay. Yes. Now even you can give the access labels like, okay, so S2 of A, C, and E. Now you are reading the value at A. Okay, the value at A, C, and E. S2 of A, C, E, right? A, B, C, D, E, right? Okay, so the value at A, C, E you are reading. Okay, yes. And even series allows slicing also. Series allows which one? Slicing. So with the help of slicing, what you can do is you can read more than one value. So using index, you can read only one value, and multiple indexes, you can read more than one value. Now you can use colon 3 means first three elements, minus 3 colon means last three elements, same rules. What we have done in the list, same rules are applicable here. What we have done, okay, the same rules are applicable here. Same rules are applicable here, right? Okay, right? Now you can also do the slicing. Okay. Now you can also do the slicing and you can also read individual values. And this is how you create it. And this is creating a series using dictionary. Okay. You can create a series by using what here? Dictionary. Okay. Creating series using a dictionary with the selected values. Now you created a series using a dictionary by taking values of Naresh and one more is what? Kishore. Okay. So you can also define indexes. You can create a series by taking, suppose actually series, you are repeating this 8 how many times? Here scalar values. You are repeating this 8 how many times? 3 times. So series represent one column only. Series represent how many columns? One column. But there is one more collection which is provided by pandas. So what is another collection provided by pandas is data frame. I said, no, what is the difference between series and data frame is, I say no, data frame represents a tabular data. A data frame represents which data here? Tabular data. Data frame represents a tabular data where you'll be organizing the data in the form of rows and where you are organizing the data in the form of rows and columns. Okay, in the form of rows and columns. So if you want to represent a data in tabular format, we'll be using what? Data frame. Okay. Yes. So data frame is a two-dimensional array. Data frame is a two-dimensional array. Okay. Data frame is a two-dimensional array object with heterogeneous data. Okay, in data frame, data is stored. In data frame, data is stored, okay, in the form of rows and columns. So how you create a data frame is, I'm saying now most of the data science people, they'll try to load the data in which format? Table format. Because the data, suppose if you take CSV file, CSV file contain number of rows and columns. If you take JSON, is having key and values. Key is nothing but column name, and values are values of that particular column, right? Okay. Okay, right? Now you can create a data frame in different ways here. You can create a data frame in different ways. You can create a data frame using what is that series. You can create a data frame by using a list. You can create a data frame by using dictionary. You can create a data frame by using Numpy array. You can create a data frame from another data frame. You can create a data frame from another data frame. You can create a data frame, okay, using files, or you can create a data frame from any database. Very simple. With one function, you can load the data from the files. With one function, you can load the data from where? Files, right? Yes. So data frame is a class. Data frame is a class. Data frame is a class, okay, or data type, which you are using it to create object. So data frame, it followed by data, index, and column types, columns and data types. So there you have a row index, indexes, row indexes, and columns is column indexes. This is nothing but row access labels, and this is nothing but column access labels. This is nothing but row access labels. This is nothing but column access labels. But if you don't define this access labels, it will take the default like index 0, row labels will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, and column labels will be again 0, 1, 2 like that. But if you want to give your own access labels, okay, you can give the access labels by using index. This is for row, okay, and there is a columns which is for what? Columns, right? Right. So data is nothing but the data source from where you are taking the data, that is called as a data source here. That is called as a data source. And index is nothing but row labels, and columns are nothing but column labels. So you can create a data frame. So you can create a data frame. So how you are creating a data frame? So you are creating an empty data frame by saying pandas dot data frame, and this represents which data frame? Empty data frame. You can create a data frame by using dictionaries. Okay, you can create a data frame using what? Dictionary. So if you are creating a data frame using a dictionary, our dictionary keys are columns. Dictionary keys are what? Columns. And this key is mapped with what? List of values. This key is mapped with what here? List of values. So key, okay, key is what here? Column. and the values is values of that column. Key is a column and values is values of that particular column. Okay, key is a column and values is values of that particular column. Okay, yes. Name is a key, is a column, and this is values of that particular column. Seller is a column and values of that particular column. Okay, right? Yes. Now you can see employee number, name, and salary. So this is a column access labels. Okay, this is a column access labels. And this is a row access labels, that is 0, 1, 2, and employee number, employee name. Now you can give, you can also create a data frame by using list. But when you're creating a data frame using a list, you have to represent the data as a nested list. You have to represent the data as what here nested list. You have to represent the data as a nested list. Nested list. You have to represent the data as a nested list. So each list represent one row. Each list represent one row here. So pandas.data frame, okay, data and columns. So this 1, 2, 3 are the column access labels like roll number, name, and course. Okay. Now student data frame, if you see student data frame, so roll number and name and course. And if you want to read individual columns, you can read it by using what here column index. You are trying to say student data frame of roll number. So you'll get first column. If I'm saying student data frame of name, then you'll get what second column. But I say no, whenever you read a column from, whenever you read a column from, whenever you read a column from data frame, so that column it returns as one series. Okay, that column it returns as one series. Okay, it will return that column as one series. Okay, it will return that column as one series. Try to remember this. It will return that column as a series. Okay, so when you say type of roll number, what is the type of roll number here? Series. And type of name, what is the type of name again here? Series. If you want to read multiple columns, then give the data frame name and you define the column names within the list. So this is a first column and this is what here second column. So this is first column and this is what here second column, right? Yeah, first column and one more is what second column. Now you can also read by using what is that here index. You can also read it by using what index means row. Columns you can read it by using column names or column index. Then how can I read the, how can I read How can I read? How can I read rows? I can read the rows by using index locations. So I location of what is that here? 0. That is nothing but first row. This is the first row and this is a second row. You can see this is one narration Python and two Kishore and what is that C? That is the first row and second row. Okay. So you can read it. Okay. So you can create a data frame using a dictionary or you can create it by using list also. Now data frame created with some missing data. Okay, data frame created with what here missing data. Suppose assume that this is a data set which I represented as a list. Within the list, I write one more list here. So this is the first row and this is second row, this is third row and this is fourth row. So it is having name, age, name, age, name, age, and there is only name, but which one is missing here? Age is missing. So this is how you identify which data is missing. Now, if you want to find out the average of ages, then you cannot perform that. You cannot perform the average on missing data, right? Then you have to replace this missing data with some value. Now, whose age is done here? Okay, whose age is okay missing here? Some Rajesh. So name, Naresh, and age is 41. Now this is list, but this is dictionary. Okay, name Naresh, age 45. Name Kishore. Now Kishore age is missing. Name Suresh. Suresh age is missing. And first person name is missing, but age is there. But the last person both are missing. Like name is missing, as well as age is also missing. Name is missing as well as age is also missing, right? Okay. Okay, so whenever there is a missing data, right? So that has been represented with what here NaN, not a number, not a value like that. Okay, so there is a row selection and there is also what column selection. Here we don't create a data frame itself is a table. Data frame itself is a table, right? Suppose if MS Excel is there, MS Excel data you can store in data frame. Okay, so we have seen CSV files, right? The CSV file data can be loaded into what data frame. Suppose in Oracle you create a database table. The table data can be loaded in what data frame. Okay, yes, it is like that. But here we are giving data using list dictionaries like that. But in real time, the data you don't give it. The data might be read from different sources. For example, if you want a recommendation system to be developed, then you'll try to scrap the data from websites and you organize that data in CSV format or you try to organize that in what is that CSV format or JSON format and then load that data into what data frame and then you perform some statistical operations. Okay, but you don't give the data in this thing. Data might becomes in different sources. Okay, yes. So that is what I'm saying now. It is only a beginning of before moving to the data science. Okay, now. So me reading multiple, I said like which column you want to read. And if you want to add a column, right? So column adding is just like a dictionary. Suppose suppose assume that data frame is having two columns. Column 1 is with 1, 2, 3, and column 2 is with 10, 20, 30. You want to add one more column. You can simply write data frame of column 3. Is it column 3 is there? No. And you are assigning the values by representing it as a series, right? So one column is added. Data frame of column 4 equal to data frame of column 2 plus data frame of column 3. Now you are adding all these two values and you are representing it as what? Column 4. You are representing it as a column 4. You can see 10 plus 100 is 110. Okay, 20 plus 200 is 220. 30 plus 300 is what? 330. Now, if you want to delete a column, you can delete a column by using delete keyword only. Now, data frame is having name and age. Now, you want to delete a name column, you can say delete data frame of name. So that will delete the column. Now, if you want to select the rows, so if you want to read the rows, right, you can read the rows by using two functions. One is location and one more is iLocation. Location is by using access labels and iLocation is using index. ILocation is using what here? Index. Okay, right? So this is data frame of location S1. S1 is nothing but first row. And data frame of location, row is represented as again series, right? Okay. Type of row is a series. Now you can also use row of 0 and row of 1. So that is using index. But if you want to read it by using access labels, you can use what your location, LOC of S1 and LOC of S1 or S2 or S3 or S4. So that is by using access labels, right? So you can also read it by using index location, by using iLocation, which is nothing but a row index location, which is nothing but row index locations. Okay, iLocation of 0, iLocation of what here? 1. Or even slicing can be done. Now data frame of 0 colon 3. 0 colon 3 means it will read how many? Okay, 0 colon 3. Now this is complete data frame. If I'm saying 0 colon 3, it is readed how many rows? 3 rows. And if I say 0 colon 2, this is same slicing what we are doing in the list. You are trying to increment the index with the 2. Okay. So it read the first row and 0 plus 2 is a 2, third row. And 2 plus 2 is a 4, fifth row. Like that, you are reading all the things. So this is for adding the row, but adding the column is you just give the column name and add the column. But if you want to add the row, okay, if you want to add the row, then you are trying to say append, but you try to represent all those rows as another data frame. You try to represent all those rows as one more data frame. You try to represent all the rows as one more data frame, right? And you are adding all the rows, right? So 0 and 3, you try to access the first row as well as what? Third row. Okay, now, right. So if you want to delete a row, anyway, you can use one function or method called drop. So data frame 1 dot drop 0 and data frame 2 dot drop 1 drop 0. So 0 is nothing but first. Now Naresh is dropped here. And in data frame 2, you are trying to drop which one? 1. 1 is nothing but is it index is rearranged? No, right? Okay. Okay. Now you can also retrieve the selected data by using functions like head and tail. Assume that you have a data set with huge number of rows. Then what you can do is you want to see some set of values like top 10 values or bottom 10 values like that. You can go for which one here, head and tail. If I'm saying head 2 means it will try to display the first two rows. If I say tail 2 means it will try to display what uh, last two rows. Now that you can do it by using head and one more is what? Tail. So that you can do it by using head and tail, right? Head 2 and tail 2 means head means header rows and tail means okay bottom rows, right? So I said here 2. Now first two rows are Naresh and Ramesh and the last two rows are Kishore and what? Ramesh, like that. So you can read it by using head and what is that? Tail. Now you can also do other aggregate operations on the data frame. You can do all other aggregate operations on the data frame. What are other operations you can do is all statistical. Like you can do operation like sum. Now there is a data frame with the sales. I want a total sales. You can just say data frame dot sum. But see here, if I say data frame dot sum, it will try to add the values of this column. Okay, but if it is multiple columns are there, if I'm saying data frame dot sum, it will try to add all the columns. Right now it will concatenate names, it is adding ages. But if you want sum of only one column, you can say data frame of which column you want, select that column. Data frame of age dot sum. So that will return the sum of only one column. Now if you want to display all statistical operations, you can simply use one describe. So what it will do, it will display the count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, okay, 25%, 50%, 75%. All these are which one here? Statistical operations, all statistical operations. You can get all statistical operations by using which one? Describe. And you can load the data into the data frame from different files. Now you can see the data loaded from which file here. So there is a function. What is the function Pandas is providing? Like read CSV. Okay, read CSV. This will load the data from which file? CSV file. So student performance.csv file. This file is already there with some 1000 rows are there. This is having with how many rows here? 1000 rows. But if I'm trying to say student data frame dot tail, tail is nothing but last rows. But it's trying to get how many rows here? By default, it gets only 5 rows. By default, it get how many rows here? 5 rows. Get how many rows here? 5 rows. By default. But if you want the number of rows, you can define this. Like you are trying to use a student data frame dot tail. Okay, right? So you can define. Okay, so this is how you read it. You can also create a data frame with some random values, right? And you can rearrange the indexes by using this np.random.random n values. So that is from, what is this, 3 comma 3. You want to create random n, 3 rows and 3 columns. 3 rows and 3 columns, right? Three rows and 3 columns, right? So random, you can use it, and you can create a data frame, and you can perform some group by operations. Okay, it is just like a database table. See, there is a data frame with employee number, employee name, job, and department number. So there is employee number, employee name, job, and department number. So there is employees like A and B are working in department 10, and C and F are working in department 20, and D and E are working in department 30. Now what you can do is you can group by. You can group by. You can group the employees based on the department number. So this is called as a grouping, like the way how you are doing in Oracle database or any database, you will try to do some grouping operations. Suppose group by, you want to have the total with group by. You want to have the total with the group by. Now you want the total according to department wise. You want the average department wise. Okay, you want the total department wise. You want the average department wise. So how can you do that? How can you do that? You can do that. How can you do that? You can do that. Okay, by using one function called group by. You can do that by using a function called what? Group by. So group by is it. So I'm saying no, there is a lot of operations which you find in this pandas. So here I said group by employee number and department number. Actually, you try to group by using a group values. Group means this is one group, this is one group, this is. But here I take the group as a, what I'll take is department number. So I want to group it based on which one? Department number. In department 10, how many employees are there? 2 employees are there. In department 10, how many employees are there? 2 employees are there. Okay, so I've taken group by department number. You can see department 10, how many employees are there? 2 employees. Okay, and department 10, 2 employees are there. Department 20, 2 employees are there. Department 30, how many employees are there? 2 employees are there. You can do group by. After grouping it, you'll get one data frame, and then you can apply. You can apply what here? Sum. You can apply the maximum, you can apply minimum, all the operations you can apply, because this minimum, maximum, all these are which operations? Group operations only. All these are which operations? Group operations only. All these are which operations? Group operations only, right? All these are group operations only. Okay. Okay. Yes. I have taken simple plot here. By plot, I define the x points and I define the y points. 1, 8. This is x points, and this is y points. 3, 10. And you try to plot it by using x points as well as what? Y points. 1, 3, 2, 4 and 3, 5, like this. But anyway, let's try to understand x points and y points, but you are trying to not representing it as a line, but you change to what here? Circle. Okay, plotting it by using array. Okay, so this is x points and this is y points, and 1, 2, 2, 8, 6. Now 1, 2, 6, 8. Okay, so what is this x points here? 1, 2, 6, 8. The 1, 2, 6, 8. Okay, now y points is 2, 8, 1, 10. So here 1, 2, and then what? 2, 8, and then what? 6, 1. The next one is 8, 10. What is that? 10. So you can change. You can put the marker as a O, and this is the size of this oval, and you can also define the line width. You can also define the line width. Okay. So here we have given only y points, and it takes the default points as a x here. So assume that there are two teams here. There is a team 1 and there is a team 2. Two teams are there, team 1 and there is a team 2. Okay. So team 1 plotting, I'm plotting it by saying plot dot plot team 1 and there is a team 2. So runs given in each over. X is nothing but overs and Y is nothing but runs. Okay. X is nothing but overs and Y is nothing but what here? Runs. Now if you see this is what you see. So this is a runs and these are what here? Overs. So there are two teams, team 1 and one more is a team 2. Okay. So this is a line plot. This is a scatter plot. Okay, and this is bar chart. So there is the players having Rahul, Rohit, Virat and Dhoni. So scores of Rahul is 30, Rohit is 70, Virat is 50 and Dhoni is 80. Then plot dot bar chart. Player names, comma runs, color equal to green and width of the each bar given as 0.8. You can see this is a Rahul score and this is a Rohit score. This is a Virat score and this is what here? Dhoni score. Okay, now you try to represent. So this is a Y and this is X. Now np dot array 50, 20, 10, 30. The apples, dates, bananas and mangoes. Prices, labels equal to L. This is which chart here? Pie chart. This is a price. This is a price. And the angle is given 90, right? starting angle, and just write here show, and just say here what show. This is which chart here? Pie chart. Yes, you can visualize the data. You can visualize the data in different charts. That can be bar chart, that can be line chart, that can be okay, that can be bar chart, line chart. Okay, it can be pie chart, right? So this is how you work with the, see, all these generally used in data science, data analysts and business analysts, people, they'll try to do it. But this is only beginning. Okay, this is not complete pandas, right? This is only beginning, how you are working with it. Yeah, we have to import matplot library. So here I imported, right? I imported matplot library. Okay, here I imported matplot library, right? So here. So for doing a plotting, you have to import which library? Matplot library. So matplot is a package, and pyplot is a matplot is a package, and pyplot is a module. Matplotlib is a package, and pyplot is a module. So I imported that, right? I imported that. So for data visualization, you have to import that. You have to import that library. So that is matplotlib is a package, and pyplot is a library. Okay, right? So this is how you work with the Numpy pandas, right? So I'll try to share the notes in the Google Classroom. Maybe by evening I'll share it. Okay. By evening I'll share it, the notes of this Numpy and pandas. The detailed notes I'll try to share it. Okay. So just go through it. What I'm saying now, this is useful when you're moving to the data science. This is useful when you're moving to the data science. Okay. Until unless you're not moving to data science, maybe sometimes at fresher level, they may ask you like whether you have a knowledge of NumPy and Pandas. You may say that, okay, yes, you have a basic idea of NumPy and Pandas, like creating arrays and creating, yes. You have a Google Classroom ID, right? You are a new student, Surinder. You are a new student. Then Google Classroom, you are there in Google Classroom, right? Okay, right. Okay, right. But yes, yeah. Okay. Thank you. We'll see. We give as integer, but in selection we got integer 64. That is a default. Default data type is integer 64. If you don't give the data type, it takes the default data type as integer 64. Thank you. Happy Sri Ramanavami. Right, thank you. Same to you, all the people. Default is integer 64 means 8 bytes. Okay, if you want to decrease the size, you define your own data type. So that is grouping. So this is what you are trying to do here. You want to group it. Suppose there is a Data set with Python students, Java students. You have a data with Python students, Java students. Okay, data set with all the students, different types of students. You want to display all the students according to the group. Group means I want Python as one group and Java as one group. Okay, Python is one group, Java is one group, Python is one group, Java is one group, C is one group, C++ is one group, like that. Data, you are not learning data science, Bhasha. You're learning Python, not data science. Pandas dot read Excel, load Excel. Load Excel is there. Pandas dot, the way how you are loading from, yes, what you are doing it here, you are loading from read CSV is there, no? The way how you are reading from CSV, in the same way you can read from Excel also. Okay, you can read from Excel also. So there are a number of functions in Pandas. Okay, now here you are using read CSV, right? Now you can also use Pandas dot. So you have a read. Oh, sorry. Okay, read, what is that? Excel. Okay, read Excel and you define the file which you want to load it. Okay, see here, sheet. The file, you have to open the file, you have to give the sheet name. Okay, in one statement only. Read Excel is there. That's it. Read Excel is there. If you want to read from database table, you'll say pandas dot, very simple. Read, okay, read, what is that? Table. So you can use read it table. Okay, so that is from where? Database table. That is from where? Database table. Okay, Ratnakar. Okay, only simple, only one function is there. That's it. So that is one of the beautiful things you find in Pandas. You don't require to write lengthy codings, right? One statement, you do so many things. One statement, you do so many things. You cannot, right? What is that? 1 3 1 3 2 3 4 5 6 7. Output should be adding it 4 5 9 13, adding elements in dictionary. What, I'm not getting it, first of all. Output should be 4 5 4 5 9 3. Add key and values here. Read key and value, add. Read key and value, add. Yes, adding all keys and values. Items function is there, no? Items, Arvind, kya hai? Arvind, yes, what is this? Item will read key and values or not? Then what? Item will read key and value. Item will read key and value, right? I forgot, sir, in interview. That's the reason I'll say practice. You people don't practice and attend interviews. Simple questions only. Is it an easy question or not, Arvind? Easy question? Yes. Key and value. For key, comma value in dictionary dot items. Okay, add those into a set or in dictionary or something, right? Okay. That is what. Mostly at fresher level Python, right? They ask you list strings dictionaries only. That's the reason I spend a lot of time on that. List strings, dictionaries, sets, yes or no, Arvind? We spend a lot of time on list, set, dictionaries, sets, functions. Why? Because most of the questions you'll get from that. I generally spend a lot of things on, we solve so many things from IFS rank, and almost all the methods we have done. I'm saying no, nobody will tell you all the methods of this. They say list means 1 day, set means 1 day. But we spend it 1 month almost. 1 month we spend only on data structures like list, set, dictionaries. Yes or no? Okay, 1 month or more than that only. Because you have not completed, right, Arvind? Now you can answer it. Yes or no? You have not completed pandas, right? Now you can answer it. You can explore it. Right. Now you can answer and explore it. No, no, I don't take any data science batch here. Only Python and Django. Okay. Python, Django, Core Java, Advanced Java. These batches I'll take. Okay. Python, Django, Core Java, Advanced Java. These batches I'll take. Okay. Not data science. Okay. Right now, tomorrow you'll have the class as usual. Okay. As usual. As usual means your respective timings. Your respective timings. 7 o'clock students, 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock students, 9 o'clock. Okay, your respective timings and respective things. Yeah, some interviewer might ask some questions. Some interviewer might ask questions, because if those people require data science, suppose those people require a Python people having minimum knowledge of Numpy Pandas, they'll train it in data science and they'll put in their projects. Because of that, you should know minimum knowledge. So that's the reason some interviewers maybe ask the questions related with Numpy and Pandas. Okay. Not in detail, but interview, I mean, freshers level, they ask you only freshers level questions like loading data, adding, grouping, okay, reading, okay. You must know all these things. I said no, crude operations you need to know. So it will take time, maybe next week, maybe next week. Next week, maybe it starts. Okay. But tomorrow you'll have the class as usual. All the students, tomorrow you'll have the class as usual. But these notes I'll upload in the evening, because some festival, right? Because I'll be busy, right? So I'll be uploading the notes in the evening. Okay. Or tomorrow I'll upload it. Okay. I'll upload in the evening, or tomorrow I'll upload it. Okay. Is it okay, right? Yes, you can call the function anywhere, because it should be executable statement, right? Function is an executable statement. Function is a calling function is an executable statement. Like there's no rule like you have to write function first and then should call next, like that. It's an executable statement, right? Try catch are not method, those are keywords. We have seen already that in exception handling, right? Already we have seen that in exception handling. Already we have seen that in exception and handling, right? Yes. In try block, you write the statements which raises exception. If there is an exception, you handle it by using not cache. In Python, it is except block. In Java, it is a cache. Okay. Here it is try and accept. Okay, now here it is try and accept. Even if you learn Django, you have to learn Node.js. If you want to become a full stack web development, you have to learn all front end as well as back ends. You have to learn all front ends and back ends. You have to learn all front end as well as back ends, like Django. Front end is like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, Bootstrap, and you have to learn some Angular JS. Okay, so then you'll become a complete full stack web developer, right? So you have to learn both front end as well as back end. So maybe next week they may start. Next week they may start. Yes, with Python as a fresher level, easily can get the job. You have to apply. Okay, you have to apply, then definitely you'll get the job. Correct? Yes. For fresher, Python is enough. Okay, right? So we'll see tomorrow. Right, thank you. We'll see tomorrow with the respective timings. Right? Yes. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Right.